Hey gang, it's your buddy Platt, and today I show you how to use a jerky gun. So let's go. So if you've been watching the channel the last couple months or so, you know I've gotten into beef jerky making. I've made beef jerky with just regular bottom round steak. I've made it with ground beef, made it with ground turkey, used a seasoning kit. And so if you watch any of my other videos, if you know me in home brewing, I always want to take things up a notch, get a new kit or whatever. So I ponied up and bought me a jerky gun. Now, what is a jerky gun and why would I use it? A jerky gun basically looks like a glorified caulking gun. If you've ever done caulking around your house, it is used for when you use ground meats to make your jerky. So if you're using flank steak or bottom round or top round, anything like that, you wouldn't use a jerky gun. But if you're using that ground beef's a good example, and you want to make sticks or something more uniform in shape, then you would use a turkey gun or a jerky gun. They have different nozzles or whatever, and just kind of makes your life a little easier. So I thought I would unbox this and we'll see what we got inside our kit. I bought this off Amazon. I will have the link down below if you want to get one of these guns. The company is Delta Prime Saving Club. I'm going to assume this is just a little research. It's kind of a generic brand. Again, I found it on Amazon. But for the attachments, the features, the gadgets, compared to the other quote-unquote name brands, it seemed like good value. The big company in jerky, guns, seasoning, stuff like that is Nevco, and then I know Bass Pro / Cabela's also sells their line of products, but these are all fairly same. Like I said, it looks like your traditional caulking gun. Just like a regular caulking gun, you pull your lever back and then you work it and it'll start to dispense. Comes with several attachments. This gun is rated for, I believe, 1.5 pounds of ground beef will fit in there typically. We're doing a 1 pound batch, so that works out. A couple of different attachments. One, they have an attachment that you can put at the end to help you, when you're stuffing the gun with your ground meat. That's one attachment. They give you a couple of cleaning brushes. When dealing with ground meats, cleaning is an absolute must. If you ever worked in restaurants or you know anything about food safety, ground meats, whether it's beef, pork, chicken, what have you, are very potentially dangerous food, and again, in a food safety sense. So cleaning is an absolute must. So they give you a couple of these brushes to get into those finer spots. They give you a little deal to kind of tamp down the meat. When you load the gun, you're going to want to avoid air pockets just because it gives you a better stream when you're dispensing out your ground beef. Couple of gloves. You always use plastic gloves. And the different attachments. This one is a double nozzle, or we'll lay out 2 strips at a time. This is a longer attachment for doing snack sticks. You would need casings. The way snack sticks are kind of a hybrid between jerky and sausage making, so you would need casings, kind of like sausage. We have a double dispenser, double snack stick dispenser. This appears to be a little bigger in diameter than this other one. Again, the casings be the same way, even though I've seen some people make sticks without casings. That's up to you. And then the one we're going to use today is just a single wide strip. So you come with 4 different attachments, and then the gloves, and that's pretty much it as far as the gun comes itself. Like I said, there's other guns on the market. Some of them are all plastic, dishwasher safe. This is aluminum. I'm going to wash my hand just because I want to be careful. I want to make sure I get all those nooks and crannies. inside the gun. So that's our gun. To demonstrate, we're going to make a 1 pound batch of jerky. I'm going to use the kit I've purchased, recently purchased. It's just High Mountain Seasonings. It's the original blend. We're going to do a 1 pound batch. Did a video on this kit already. I'll leave a link to it up here if you want to check that out. I'm not going to go into what we need to do as far as the marinade and the meat or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and wash this equipment, get it ready. I actually have set my ground beef with the seasoning in the fridge to let it marinate already. So let me wash this up and we'll come back and use our jerky gun. Alright gang, we're going to go ahead and stuff our jerky cannon. Just hold this part, hit the trigger in the back. Alright. We got it emptied. We're going to add on a little attachment to make life easier on stuffing our turkey or jerky gun. And then we're just going to cram in the 1 pound of our marinated ground beef. Luckily we have our attachment here. Push down. Alright. And what you want to do is just make sure you eliminate the air bubbles. You don't want any air bubbles because you want a nice even stream when we press this. So let me finish getting this beef in and we'll come back to use our jerky gun. Alright, now that we've got our gun packed, we've got everything locked in, got our nozzle on, we're just doing one single long strip. I've got my rack ready. I throw on a little bit of Pam and a little nonstick spray. You don't have to, but sometimes this jerky does get sticking. So let's go ahead and get the gun going. There we go. Just one nice, continuous, long strip. Oh, that is beautiful. All right, use our finger for that. And this is what the purpose of the jerky gun is. You know, is the jerky necessarily taste any better? No, but it just gives you a nice, even, consistent strip. Now, as far as quality-wise, because you're getting a consistent thickness, you don't have to worry about spots that may not have dehydrated all the way, which is kind of nice. All right. And remember, we came with an attachment. We could have done 2 strips like this. We could have done beef sticks, double beef sticks. There's tons of different attachments if you want to kind of play around with the size of your strips. Alright gang, so our beef jerky is done. A real quick recap on the jerky. We took 1 pound of ground beef. We added our seasoning, our curing seasoning from a kit we had used in an earlier video. And that is our base recipe for this beef jerky. It's pretty simple, straightforward. The point of this video is not necessarily the beef jerky, but the jerky cannon itself. We used the jerky cannon to lay out strips. And that's kind of the point of this video, or what I want to get into, is what are jerky guns for? Why would we use them? What's the benefit, this, that, and the other? And the main reason we would use a jerky gun is for shaping, you know, doing the proper strips. Also, too, they have the different attachments where if you want to do snack sticks, different things. It just allows you to control the shape of your jerky. This is to kind of contrast to if you're making jerky with like a flank steak or a top round, bottom round, and those cuts, you're kind of to the whim of the cut of the meat you have as far as shape wise. Where this might come in to be an issue, however, is let's say you're making jerky for kids and stuff. They like, you know, simple shapes, what have you. If you're going to put this in, let's say, a mason jar or wherever, the strips just work out real nice. Also, a lot of people in your mind think of a strip when that happens. Now, the jerky guns, one of the things is you have to use ground meats, whether it's ground turkey, chicken, pork. Well, you probably wouldn't use pork, but ground beef, bison, what have you. You have to use ground meat to use a jerky gun, but they come in handy. If you're going to make a lot of jerky, I would advise you to invest in a jerky gun. Again, just being able to do these strips. And one of the things it allowed me was I was able to pack on more strips. Now, I had a couple other strips. We dipped into them a little early, but anyway, just laying out the strips, it makes it easier to lay out your sheets than, again, with just random cuts of meat. So that's the main reason why we had a jerky gun and why I bought a jerky gun, because I want to make strips and sticks and all that kind of fun stuff. One thing about the jerky gun is that you really got to be careful in cleaning. Any kind of ground meats, again, turkey, chicken, beef, what have you, they're more susceptible to infections and food poison, you know, foodborne illnesses. And so that gun you have to be real careful with. You have to take apart, thoroughly clean. That's one of my suggestions with these jerky guns. That being said, though, let's try some jerky from our jerky gun. That is nice. Just got out of the oven a little bit ago. Did about 4 hours, which has been kind of standard for our recipes with ground beef, but it's a nice slice of jerky. Another great thing about using that jerky gun is I know I'll get the right thickness as far as my jerky. I'm not worried about getting too thick of pieces that sometimes don't thoroughly, you know, dehydrate or cook through. And again, with ground beef, you want to make sure you get that internal temperature just right. Well, if you have too thick a piece, you might have some issues, but that gun helps make a nice thin strip, which is what we got. Absolutely delicious. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know I'm putting out good content. Sorry, some jerky in my mouth. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.